This is Warps. Welcome to my maps guide. I'm going to show you on these moons how to get to where you want to go as fast as possible with convenient, repeatable setups such as Rend. This is probably the one I'm proudest of finding. Just jumping off diagonally to the left of the ship railing and shimmying down this mountain gently and not breaking your ankles by going too fast will lead you right to the fire escape. But you gotta get back too, and this is how you do it. Right when you walk out, turn to the right. You'll see a little ramp going up. Follow it to the right. Hug right the entire time. There's a cliff, just walk along it. It'll eventually go into a mountain, and then you just follow it all the way straight to the ship. There's a little light when you turn left up that previous ramp, and that light is a bait, though that is the general direction of the main entrance should you want to go there. Now, Rend is an okay map. It is the cheapest of the three, and it has some spooky enemies. The maps have different weights for enemy spawns, and Rend really likes coilheads, jesters, and brackens, which is kind of spooky. The Rend also outdoors will spawn a few things, such as dogs and giants, but don't forget the sandworms. The wiki has all this info. It's pretty interesting to look at. So here you see my traversal of the main to the fire escape, which sometimes you want to do. Here's a little jetpack view of the entire map. Pause on any frame you want, and you'll have a nice little map. The lights are the way to get to the main entrance pretty easily. You can follow those. Rend is kind of spooky overall. I will go to this map sometimes for a change of pace. I'm kind of not a fan of the mansion layout. Coilheads are very strong on there since you can't seal them indoors. Same thing with jesters. And look at that, they're both the most common spawns. Brackens are also spooky, so go here if you want. We'll go in order from now on. Experimentation. This map has not much loot. It's pretty broke. Like 200 to 250 at best. This is about half as good as the next two noob maps, which are Assurance and Vow, so I wouldn't recommend going to this place. If you want to get here in the fog, you just run straight off the ship, you'll hit the wall, turn left to hit the ladder, go up, and then you have the fire escape and the main here, which you can easily go up. Now at the top of the fire escape, you can actually jump onto the pipe next to it and walk back to the ship if you wish. But I figured while I'm here, I might as well show you that this gate can actually close. It takes a lot of traversals, a lot. So don't expect it to happen in a real game. But if you want to just sit there and do this all game, you can lock your teammates in and they'll be confused. Here's the path from the main back to the ship. It's a straight line, so you'll be able to get there in fog pretty easily. And here is the fire escape pipe trick. Now, this map is pretty easy on pretty much any weather effect. It can only spawn dogs and sandworms outside as threats, and the inside threats are primarily spiders and snare fleas. So bring a shovel. Brackens and thumpers can occasionally spawn. But yeah, this is a low threat map with low profit. Here's a jetpack above shot for consistency. Now for Assurance. This is the setup for an easy path to the main entrance. Just jump off of that angle of the rail of the ship, and you can just run almost straight over this mountain and down this hill, and you are at the front door. Now, Assurance is better than Experimentation. You can get like 400 to 450 at most. More if B spawn, of course. B spawn on all of the maps except the final three and Offense. So it's unreliable income, but if it does spawn, it's nice. As for the monsters you'll find outside here, that is all of them. Giants are very rare though. As for inside, snare fleas, loot bugs, and spiders are the most common, all around 25%-ish. Brackens and thumpers being more rare, near 5 to 6%, and there's some slimes. It's an okay map. It's alright. I'd take it over Vow. Here are the flooding effects on this map. It's not that bad. I'd say flooded is doable on this map. The time is being sped up here, so You can see kind of like a little time lapse of what to expect. As long as you get back by about this time, you're fine. You can still make it to the ship in these flooded conditions, but it's a little harder. Can be extra hard depending on the enemies that spawn. Here is a flight tour of the map. As you can see, it is pretty close together. There is the ship in the middle. You just go forward and to the left in the main, forward and to the right is the water tower ladder leading to the fire escape. Pretty small map. The last of the starter three, Val, you align yourself with the right edge of the ship when you walk out, and you just run in an almost straight line, a bit to the left, just a little bit, tiny bit, and you'll find the bridge. This map spawns giants almost all the time outside, which is terrible because they are too strong right now. And indoors, the highest rate of monster that spawns is the Bracken. So I wouldn't go here, honestly. It's kind of just worse than Assurance. Yeah, Assurance is an upgrade over this map. If you want to die, go here. At least its fire escape and main are pretty close together. You just go down into this little valley for the fire escape. The bridge can also break, which is fun. Here's an above shot. You can see the ship down there. And on the right side, once you walk out, is pretty much everything. You have the secure bridge, the rickety bridge that breaks, the whole valley. Pretty easy to get back and forth, but yeah, giants, Brackens. I wouldn't recommend this map. Now for offense. One of the better maps. You can do this pipe jump trick when the ship is landing to get to the fire escape easily, or bring an extension ladder and prop it up on the little hill under the door, and you can get up. This map has majority offensive threats. It's called offense. You got the thumpers and the spiders taking up almost 50% together of the spawn rates. Slimes, fleas, and coil heads are uncommon, all around 13%. And more uncommon are the Brackens at 1.5%. And those are pretty threatening, so that's nice. Outside, mostly dogs and baboon hawks, occasionally giants, but fairly rarely. Sandworms too, so kind of a big mix. Mostly dogs though, which are very manageable. And a nice thing about having all of those spawn is they will fight each other. Dogs and baboons will have a war, and baboons can occupy giants by just standing around them and squawking. The giants will stare at them, so that's kind of nice. The map is pretty good in my list. I would say I like this almost as much as March. March has the edge on this map, I would say, kind of because this map can't spawn bees, which is a big thing. It's like the only map out of the starting 5 that can't, so kind of unfortunate, as the other ones having the bees can give you a lot of money. Like a lot. Like almost enough for an entire extra run's worth of these maps is how much bees can get you if you collect them. Here's an upward view of the map. Pretty small. Rainy and flooded are both pretty easy on this map. And March. Here is an above view in flooded, kind of late in the day. As you can see, the south fire escape and the main are pretty easy to traverse. The other two, not so much. Fog on this map for the unprepared is tough, but with the right setups, you can get there and back easily. Now, as you saw there, I aligned my character with the northeast exit of the ship. So front, right, diagonal, perfectly straight. Just keep going. You will eventually hit a wall. Turn left 90 degrees, kind of along the wall. Keep going. If there are any pumpkins or trees in your way, just shimmy around them. Keep going. Keep scanning. It'll help. And here's the main. Now to get back from the main, you align your character with the wall here, then turn 45 degrees to the left. That is halfway between a 90-degree turn. So it's a little harder to line this one up, but very possible. You just keep going until you hit the mountain. Turn left 90 degrees, and then go straight. Keep scanning. Turn a little right when you see the bushes. There is a cliff there leading into a water death pit. Now for the northwest fire escape. Align yourself with that corner and the front left railing. Turn ever so slightly to the right. and then run forward. You will hit it straight on. Now, some notes about this map. It does have giants outside. It has almost everything. I think it does have everything. Giants are a little more common though, but it's worth it. This is probably my most played map. Alright, the setup for this one, when coming back, you align yourself with the door, and then align your camera with that edge of the wall, so you're going at a perfect angle there, 45 degrees from the door to that wall, and you just go along this path. It will have a cliff, so watch out. Stay a little bit right, but just keep scanning. The ship's right there. Now for the south fire escape, just do a little hook around the right, jump off this back railing of the ship in a straight line, keep going. You'll run into a few things, just keep left. You'll run into a tree and then a little mountain. Keep left, keep going here. Straight line. You pass a tree, here's a second tree, the third tree, and now is when you start to hug the right. You just go up, and there it is. Now to get back from here, once you've identified which one it is, depending on if you knew where you were in the first place, you just go along the wall, hug the left of the mountain until it keeps going straight. You'll pass these shrubs. Once you see those, straight line. Keep scanning. There it is. This is one of the harder ones. This is for the southwest fire escape. You go to the front left corner, squeeze in there, look down at the vertical railing, and align your camera with it, and then just a little to the right, and then go forward. It is possible to miss this one. It's a very narrow angle, so consider backtracking if you somehow miss the bunker, and then you just go down this way, and there it is. Now for the southwest fire escape, back to the ship. You identify which one it is by this little hill. Now you go up the hill, you'll hit this tree, keep going, next tree, turn left, there's another tree, brush past it with it on your right in a straight line. This is one of the harder ones. It's possible to miss this one, but you can do it. And there's the ship. Here's a little replay of the jetpacking. While I talk about March briefly, this, again, is probably the best map prior to the final three that you have to pay for. The bees on this map and the multiple fire escapes mean there are lots of exits to the facility and lots of entrances, allowing people to split up in different ways and get tons of loot that's just by the doors and easily get back. The giants are the worst part of this map, but they're somewhat manageable if you have like a teleporter or run really fast. Indoor threats on this map primarily consist of thumpers, spiders, and brackens. There are fleas, hoarder bugs, as well at lower chances. Coilheads are only a 3% chance, and that's kind of nice because they are very annoying. I would rather deal with a bracken, even though they are spooky, than a coilhead. And thumpers and spiders can be shoveled, so not too big a deal. The inverse teleporter is also insane on this map because there's so many exits that you're actually pretty likely to find your way out. So that's why this map is great. And we'll get into the pricey maps now. I'm going to speedrun this section. Here's an above view. Follow the lights to get to the main. If it's flooded, you won't be able to get to the main. Don't bother. The fire escape is very close to the ship. If you bring a ladder or scoot up the edge, as I will show in a bit, you can get in there. This is turret and landmine hell, the map, except it also has all indoor enemies with spooky ones like jesters and coilheads with the most spawn rate, so have fun with that. I don't want to go to this map, straight up. I just won't go to this map. To get here easily, you just go the northwest edge off the ship, and then you can run up this ledge by just getting all your stam and then spamming jump. Once you spam it enough, you'll find your way up there, or a ladder if you can't do it. Yeah, go to Titan instead. Titan, the easiest and hardest map in the game, depending on who you ask and what you mean. This map is tiny. The ship is backed right up against that staircase that goes right to the main entrance. The fire exit is just a little bit to the left of the main. There is a lot of loot access there very fast. The dogs will spawn on this map the most at about 70%. The rest will be giants. The giants are unfortunate, but I'll take dogs any day. They're pretty easy to deal with as long as you be quiet. You can reach up here easily, and you can just jump off the edge and barely take any damage. You take 20 damage from falling, unless you're doing jetpack shenanigans. You have 100 total health. Once you reach below 25 health, you go into critical. And once you recover from critical damage, you go back to 25 health. So you can fall forever. You will be injured, though, when you're done. But when you're wrapping it up, when you're not going to go in, just jump off the cliff and take all the stuff back to the ship. Now, before that moment, you can use one of these two spots. The one on the left is more vulnerable to giants, though, because if a giant spawns up top there, he's going to guard the loot. So what I like to do is stockpile it on the little landing and then use the ladder at a slight angle in the spot you're about to see to drop the stuff in front of the ship. You do have to really drop it at the edge of the ladder, but the second spot here is my preferred one, just because if something spawns up top, they won't make it absolute hell to get the items. So most things can spawn on this map indoors, but it's a pretty mixed bag. As long as you can seal the coil head or jesters that you run into in the terminal doors with the help of the operator on the ship, you can not have to deal with them anymore. So that's a really nice tactic. And the map is pretty easy besides that. You can make money here. Like, you can get so much loot off those ladders. You can watch me fly around a little more while I tell you, all the weather on this map is pretty easy. Even Eclipsed isn't that bad because you can inverse teleport in and then leap off, almost skipping everything. The fog is a joke because it's already foggy and it's 5 feet out of the ship. Stormy, the map is so confined, you can put down a few key lightning rods and all of the lightning will be contained. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that.